Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is my story time that's long overdue. I told y'all this 2 weeks ago, but I wasn't feeling good, guys. Some days I just wake up and I don't feel like doing anything. I just get exhausted. This is like the toughest pregnancy I've had out of all my pregnancies. I'm just like super exhausted all the time and it's really draining me. But this is my story time of basically me cutting my friend off. 6-year friendship, 6.5 years actually. And to be honest, we needed this break. Who knows how long it's gonna take, whatever. I'm not chasing nobody. Like, I don't do that shit. And like, I'm just not, because you're wrong, and if you don't accept your consequences of your action, that's on you. So basically, it actually starts since 2016, but we'll start now because this actually happened in August. We'll start now, and then we'll backtrack of why this should have been ended and all the red flags. And then, I was just ignoring it because, same way how in relationships there's red flags, there's red flag relationships in friendship also, and some of us choose to ignore it, and those that choose to ignore it usually end up getting hurt at the end of the day. But it's a lesson learned. So with my friend, I'm not gonna mention her name, basically, boom, I'm pregnant, right? Found out I'm pregnant. I was about, what did I tell her? I was about like 6 weeks pregnant when I told her. But just remember also, I already have 2 kids. I have 2 toddlers back to back. Around that time, my daughter, she's 2, and around that time, my son, he was 3. He hasn't turned 4 yet, but he's 4 now, but he was 3. So I got a 2 and a 3-year-old. I got a boy and a girl. I got the pair. I thought I was done. I'm content. I'm okay. A 3rd pregnancy was not something that I was expecting, especially like in a time like this. My mom recently passed. I am not in that mental state of mind where I can handle another pregnancy. Y'all pray for me. I'm going through therapy, grievance therapy, going through my couples therapy, and I also need individual therapy for myself, just basically just to deal with everything that's going on. I do have a lot of friends that are supportive, that are there for me, and this particular friend, she is always one of those woe is me. She makes it seem like her life is so horrible. She makes it seem like everything that could go wrong, when in reality, it's not as bad as she makes it seem. And she's gotten to that point in her life where she's getting to the age of 40. I'm still in my early 30s. I'm 32. Well, I'm gonna be 32. And sorry guys. And basically, she's single. And the thing is, she's been single for like about 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. And to be honest, her being single, that was her choice. I'm gonna say that's her choice because she chose infidelity in the relationship, and she got caught. And what you want the boy to do. And the thing is that with women, what y'all don't understand is like, guys ain't gonna take you back. They're not as nice as us. A guy can cheat, and us women, some of us, will find it in our heart to take the guy back. But other way around, that's rare. That's rare for that to happen, because it's one of those, once another guy have you, they don't want you type of thing. And that's basically where it was in her relationship. And for the 6 years, she was chasing the dude. And he ended up marrying someone else, having a kid with someone else, and she never got over it. So she got to the point where it's like a woe is me type thing. Like, I'm gonna be single forever. I'm not a black man's preference, blah, 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 blah. And her complexion is lighter than me. And she's complaining about preferences. They only, guys in Miami and Broward only go for the light-skinned girls and blah, 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 all that. I don't really care for that because, at the end of the day, it's not about skin complexion or anything like that. Like, yeah, we live in a colorist world. I see it every day. But at the end of the day, it's all, I feel like it's really you that person. If you If you want this guy and this guy's interested in you, it's not always going to be about your complexion. Sometimes it could be your personality. Yeah, sometimes it does play a big role in it. And on top of that, being in Miami, they do, a lot of men live through a colorist lens, but we're not even going to talk about that. But at the end of the day, I lived in Miami all my life and I had no problem getting a man. I'm just saying. Not trying to be cocky or nothing. But anywho, so that's the story I hear all the time. And basically, I told her I was pregnant, and homegirl basically told me, oh, you're still early in your pregnancy. Meaning, it's early to get an abortion. I don't believe in abortion. That's not me. Maybe the younger me, probably, you know, in my early 20s, because, you know, in my early 20s, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying my 20s. I'm not trying to have no child at 21, 22. Not saying, you know, it's an issue for those that chose to have it or those that choose to very young, but I was single. I was modeling. I was having a good time. Having a child was not in, you know, my vocabulary or in my interests. And plus, around that time, you know, my mom, she had one of those geriatric pregnancies, so I already had my little sister to raise. So it's like, I wasn't interested. And to be honest with you, when she said that, I was very offended by that. You know, and she's over here like, oh, you know, you said you were done with these two, and now that you're pregnant, now, you know, you're not going to be able to come and hang out with me, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm over here like, girl, what? And then she's like, then she turned around and told me, I hope you're not offended by that. She said that twice to me. I hope you're not offended by that. And I was offended by that. And I told her, I'm like, ain't nobody can offend me but me. But at the end of the day, what you said was wrong. So after I had that conversation with her, I just had to like I couldn't stay on the phone with her. I let her finish complaining about life and how her life is so horrible when it's really not. Then I hung up. Then 3 days later, I sent her this long text message. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see the text message. I will read it out loud for you guys. And I'm gonna let y'all see what the message says. Hey girl, I'm gonna have to be real with you. The conversation we had the other day did not sit well with me whatsoever these couple of days. I replayed it over and over, and I'm going to have to distance myself from you until this baby is born or until you get the help you need. I can't have that type of energy around my spirit or my unborn child. The Lord knows my battle this year and everything I'm going through. And to be honest, I can't help somebody that is showing that she does not want to be helped. I say this because of the things you said to me, how it was said, and your reasoning. While we spoke, you kept saying you're not trying to compare situations with anyone, but all you did was compare your life to everyone, and that is not right, because at the end of the day, the same way they don't know your struggles, you don't know the struggles behind closed doors. When you called to see how I'm doing, it did not feel sincere, because I ignored the fact that you said I'm still early in my pregnancy, you know, to abort, after I told you how far along I am. No one had said some shit like that to me but you, and that did not sit right with me. And the fact that you repeated 2 times, I hope I did not offend you, let me know you knew it was offensive, but you did it anyways. You telling me that you waiting for your mom to die because you're tired of taking care of her does not sit right with me, and it is not the first time you said it. I literally just lost my mom a couple of months ago, and she wasn't taking care of herself as she should, but I fought with her to the end. What you said is the last thing I want to hear. Be grateful she's alive. You telling me how you don't have a relationship with your dad, just call him every day. And see where that takes you, because that's how it started with my dad. But you wouldn't know that because all you see is a great relationship. What really got to me to the point to where I'm at, it's when you said you've been miserable for 17 years. To be honest, that's fucked up. And to say 4 out of the 17 years was happy, meaning you were happy when you were in a relationship. I'm not going to mention her daughter's name. Didn't ask to be here. You chose to keep her. All that support you spoke about from your friends meant nothing to you by that comment, and it was very disappointing to hear that. Shaking my head. If it had been that long of a misery, you have no business being in a relationship until you heal. That excuse of every time I find a therapist they leave is an excuse. And if you're not trying to help yourself, I will not be your emotional dumping ground like you have been treating me after all these years. If you look back and think about it, you have never once called me about a good news, only bad news with no consideration of what I got going on. That is why at your birthday, the only good memory I had of us is when we worked together, when you were in a relationship. Other than that, I can't think of not one great news you have called to speak about. I've been the dumping ground of problems and I'm tired. You're not the only person with problems. I'm still grieving my mom. I'm going back to therapy, but you wouldn't know. I can't tell you how this baby makes me feel because your initial response was enough. I don't think you see how bitter you have become, and it's concerning. Please really seek the help you need, my friend, because it's obvious I can't help you and I only want the best for you. And I ended the message just saying, I will continue to pray for you. And basically, I just had to just cut her off because I felt like you're not about to come stress my pregnancy out. This is something that's long overdue. I honestly feel that because at the end of the day, she's one of those friends that I've noticed a pattern. She never calls me when she has good news. I'm always that person that she dumps her crap on because nobody else wants to listen to her crap. Every time something goes wrong, she calls me. When something great happens, I don't get no phone call from that girl. She'll call all her other friends, but I don't get no phone call from her. And, I always find out about the good news, like later. And she's always telling me how I'm such a supportive friend. I'm always there when she needs her. Because, you only call me with bad stuff. You never call me with the good news. You never call me when something good is happening. Like, for example, when she was building her house, she knew around the time that when she was building her house, my husband and I, we were shopping for a home. And around that time, I was pregnant. She never told me nothing. She never told me where she was building. She never told me the builder or the location or nothing like that. It was after we decided to move to the West Coast. And, we found, a builder, a plot of land and blah, blah, blah. And we started building. That's when she decided to stop gatekeeping and told me, oh, I'm building over here. And we're literally on two opposite ends. She was like 2 hours away. And now that she's, her house is built and it's been like, 2 years, 3 years that she's been living there, she realized that she's all alone. She has nobody there. Everyone's so far away from her. But hey, if you weren't gatekeeping and were actually telling me where you're building your house, I probably would have built a house right next to you. Because to be honest, like, we were not purposely trying to move to the west coast of Florida, but we're here and it is what it is. But yeah, and from the very beginning I said that this should have been something that should have happened a long time ago. I say that because, for example, when I got engaged to my husband in 2016, around that time, her and her dude, that's when they were going through it or whatever. The night I got engaged, I'm over here thinking, oh, this is my friend. Around that time, we've been friends for like a couple of months now. And, I'm calling her. I am so sorry, guys. Like, when I talk, it gets worse. And I'm over here, like, I'm calling her and I'm excited because I'm like, oh my God, got engaged, blah, 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 whatever. All the friends that I call, they're all excited for me. I call her and I'm telling her, hey girl, I got engaged tonight, blah, blah, blah. That's when she wants to dump it on me like, oh yeah, me and so-and-so broke up. You couldn't wait. Like, you could have told me that the next day. You decided to tell me that tonight. So now I'm supposed to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then she sits there and continues on telling me how sad she is and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm always that friend to like, let me listen. But at the same time, it's like, damn, you couldn't just give me one night? Just one night to myself. And it's like, she's one of those friends I don't bring good news to. Because she's not going to be happy for you. Because if her life isn't going great, she's not going to be happy. But when her shit is going great, that's when it's okay to give her good news. And it's, it's pretty sad to have a friendship where you have to tiptoe around, around this person's emotions, but don't really care about the other person's emotions. Because even when I told her I was pregnant, she said she was calling to see if I'm doing okay, but then she turned around and told me what she said, and then have a whole hour conversation about her, when really, in reality, she was not checking for me. And it's always been something like that. Like, it's always been a, hey, I'm calling to check on you, and then blah, 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 problem dump. And the pattern, it's just been going on for too long. And I already told myself since I've been pregnant, I'm not going to let nobody stress me out, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I haven't let anybody stress me out. Anybody's causing me problems, I either just hang up, block them, get cut off. Like, I'm not even tolerating that. And I find it so funny because it's like, once you start setting your boundaries, all of a sudden people just start hating you. And it's like, oh well, you know, like, I can't be your yes man for the rest of your life. And on top of that, if you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong, and you can convince me otherwise, but you know, my feelings is my feelings. Like, I feel like you're wrong in a situation, and I'm gonna let you know you're wrong. You know, so that's literally my little story time. But just by the text message, you could tell that I let her off easy, because I could have been far worse than that. But I was like, you know what? I choose peace. I choose peace. And from the day I sent her that message in the first week of August, she has not replied. She left it on red. And you want to know something? It can stay just like that. That's your business. It can stay right there. I'm not even going to respond. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. Basically, yeah, I said I cut her off, but she basically cut herself off. She did me the favor. And to be honest, when she decides to come around, I don't know if I'm going to want to talk to her because of the stunt that she pulled. Because you can sit here and talk to people any type of way and thinking you're not going to have any consequences of your action. And then when somebody finally do respond and read you, it's an issue and you can't even handle it. So I do honestly wish her the best, and I do mean what I said when she needs the therapy and she needs to correct herself, and I will be praying for her. I mean every single word I said in that text message, and I'm not taking nothing back. So, you know, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about that. I honestly do not tell people to get out of my life. If you choose to leave, you choose to leave. I can't do nothing about that. But that's the end of my story time. Click the next video. I got another story time. I actually cut off a family member. I blocked her ass. Anywho, click the next story and you get to hear that one. That one was actually very recent. But thank you for watching. Bye.